Everyone. How's everybody doing? This is Q&A with Queen and
April.
yes.
Uh-oh.
Q&A with Queen and April.
I don't remember
Welcome
hearing that
everyone.
woo before.
Welcome everyone to Q&A with Queen and April. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening and thank you for joining us. If this is your first time with us, we'd like for you to like, share, and subscribe. And also, you can hit that notification bell if, in fact, you would like to know when we're going to be live again. So, April, how
Mhm.
was your weekend? Happy Tuesday.
This weekend was really good. I have been extremely intentional about finding time to relax. Yes, and enjoy family quality time. So, other than getting that a final touch of dental work taken care of, all went well, and I had a great weekend. How about you,
Oh,
Queen?
good. Well, me, I'm retired, so I can find all the time I want to do whatever I want. I just don't have a lot of time to do things with other people because most people don't have that type of lifestyle. So I sort of have to find myself fitting in where they fit in. So I'm hoping one day maybe you could really retire and we can explore and do some things because there's so much life to live. But it's always nice to do it with someone and
Yes.
some good friends, some girl time, and things like that. So hopefully that's a goal in the next couple of years to be intentional about. I just am thankful and blessed that I don't have to go out and beat the pavement like I did for the last 28 years of my life. I've always been a hustler, but real estate I've been doing hard for a very long time. So,
Yes,
but
you have.
I literally been working on charity, and so I'm doing stuff the bus. And so they say if you don't have to work, you should volunteer. And a lot of times that feeds your soul if you can give back and help the community. And I think I love that more. I love real estate, and I'm always going to be a part of real estate world because it chose me. I didn't choose it. But what I really
Mhm.
enjoy is when I see smiles and people are happy for the things that I'm doing to help the community. So I'm a connector
Yes.
by trade. I help people do things. I get things done, and they like that. So I am really venturing out into that world, and that sort of makes me feel happy. So I'm thankful for that gift that I've been given.
Awesome. Awesome. So happy to hear it. Listen, so you know how we always like to start the topic off with a positive quote. So this is
Yes.
one that's going to cause one to think. And so this one is every seasoned broker has a story about the deal that got away. The difference is they didn't let the deal take them away, too. Do I need
Yeah.
to repeat that?
It sounds good. You can go repeat it for those who didn't really catch it, but I caught it.
Yeah. Every seasoned broker has a story about the deal that got away because all the deals don't always reach the finish line. The difference is they didn't let the deal take them away, too. They stayed
Yeah,
in the game.
that's true.
That
I
tough
mean,
skin.
yeah, I mean, you could literally, I can tell you just being full transparency here. I have wanted to quit behind a deal that was going south. I was like, I'm done. I ain't doing this no more. I can't do it. It just because when you're young and you have estrogen, you deal with a little bit more. Stress is a little bit more acceptable for your body. You
Mhm.
normalize it. But when you get to an age where you lose all your estrogen, your menopausal, your patience level's a little bit like so deals don't feel the same when they are a little bit tumultuous, right? So
Yes.
I don't like anything that causes any level of stress because I don't want that cortisol hormone to go nuts. So if it's arduous, I
Yes.
just say bye. And when you don't have to do it, it's even better because you're like, you know what? Everybody's not my client. Look, all
That's
money ain't
it.
good. Money. I'm out of
That's
here.
it right there. So that brings us to today's topic. And
Yes.
today's topic is it normal to feel anxious every time a deal falls apart because of money? Ooh, what say you, Queen?
Well, first of all, we don't work because we're at church. We're not volunteers. We are working because we do accept to be compensated for our efforts.
Mhm.
And it's not a matter of feeling nervous for me. It's a matter of disappointment because you can, once you learn the game, you don't have to worry about nervous because it's like riding a bike. You just do it over and over and over. It's almost like going in front of a crowd to speak. You're nervous the first couple of times. And after you get the swing of things, you kind of do it. If you've done a lot of real estate like we have and I have, you
Mhm.
realize that we've seen it before, right? So you don't
That's
get nervous.
it.
You actually stay calm. You get professional. When you're new, it is kind of worrisome, especially when you're banking on the money. I've seen agents
Mhm.
lose their license because the money was a factor. If you know that the money is the factor, sometimes the way you approach the deal is a little bit different. So it increases your stress and increases your nervous system and all that. But if you have a different approach about things and you understand the business and you are professional and you know how to problem solve, which is really the number one reason why we do what we do, we're solving a problem, whether it's
Right.
finding them a home, finding them a lender, finding a home inspector, finding an appraisal. All those are problems that you have to solve for X. And if you know how to do that effectively, it can kind of calm you down as a nervous person. Because I can give you my first story. I had a deal. I'll never forget it. My grandmama gave me this deal. I love me some of my grandmama. Grandmama gave me her bingo lady deal, and she said my bingo friend wants to sell her house, and I was like, "Yes, Grandma, you picking it out. That's my girl, my boom, cool, ride or die." Everything was going great.
Right.
Week before closing, I get a phone call. Hey, are you responsible for 123 Elm Street? I was like, oh, it's under contract. He was like, well, that's my house, and don't fret. I could send you the deed, but it
Mhm.
is my home. And I was like, what? How's that your home? And it's not, it's my grandma bingo friend. What are you talking about? Come to find out,
Right.
the bingo lady done salvaged her house to a gentleman that actually made her sign a document that said, if you're ever late, the deed transfers to me. And of course, when I went to sell it, they had to pull title, and that triggered him to know that it was being pulled. He was happy that I sold
Wow.
it. And he was like, look, I'm going to take all her $287,000 equity, and she gets, I had to beg them
Mm.
for 2,500. I called my broker. Who my grandma bingo friend? I can't even tell my grandma because it's confidential. Blah, 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 blah. And they moved out with 2,500 after we begged him for 2,500 to give him the keys. It's a broom swept house. He loved that I sold it. He thanked
Wow.
me. And I cried and I cried. I thought I just want to throw my hands up. But you know what? My broker, because I was new, he calmed me down. He said,
Mhm.
what was your job? I said, to sell the house. He said, did you sell the house? I
That's
said,
it.
yes. He said, that's your job. You got to remove your emotion. If you get too emotional in real estate, you're going to lose yourself. And you can't do that. We are here to do a job.
Mhm.
It's a transaction.
Mhm.
While you may have a relationship there, the job is transactional. And that's it. And through that transaction, you could build relationships, but you can't forget why you're doing what you're doing. It's a transaction that you are hired to do. And that's it.
That's
And I
it.
was like, wow, you're emotionless. You're a man. Because women, we're caregivers.
No.
We like to take the transaction from the beginning to the end and we ride it through. That's why men, when they start in real estate, they get
Mhm.
an assistant right away. Us, we're the assistant. We're the transaction person. We're the person running around. We're doing this. We're babysitting to the end. Whereas them, they call the
That's
phone
it.
up. I'll never forget this one guy. He called me crying one day. I ain't got no assistant. I'm like, what are you telling me for? He said, because I need help. I need to use your transaction person. I can't figure out how to do a listing.
Mm, mm, mm.
Huh? He didn't know how to do anything. So when he lost his assistant, I said to him,
Because he
you should learn, and
mm.
then you could hire somebody. So if they ever should fall out, like cutting hair. If I don't know how to cut hair, why would I have a barbershop? Everybody leave out the chairs. I can't
That's
even do no
right.
hair. What's that? That's why we're different.
That's one reason why it's easy. It's best to create a SOP, right? Standard operation procedural manual for your business, so that in the event the transaction coordinator leaves or someone else, you could scoop right in either yourself and take care of it, or get someone else to step in and
Well,
do business the way
you
you want it
should
done.
get someone to step in, but hiring people is not easy. So if you don't know the basics of the
Yeah,
job, it could take a while. You got the client on the line. You don't have
absolutely.
time to hire anybody. If you have no
Yeah,
sense of what's going on, he didn't know how to do a listing. He had like 10 listings. I didn't have any listings. And he had 10 and he had nobody to help him input the listing. Because really listings take a lot of time. You got to make sure all the stuff is right. You got to fill all the holes. You
yes,
got to
they
put a
do.
description. You got to make sure pictures are taken. You got to upload those. And a person who does it all day long does it in their sleep. But if you're out here running out making business, what you should be doing, you shouldn't be owning McDonald's and flipping the burgers. I get it. But if you don't know how to flip the burgers,
Hmm.
that's why every
Hmm.
McDonald's franchise has to work. Franchisee has to work in the franchise so they can learn each station that they're hiring for. You know what I'm saying? What does it say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I tell people, if you're going to do real estate, you kind of need to know the basics, even if you are going to hire somebody to do that. That's
I totally agree.
yeah.
And one of the things I'd like to say, I was going to look at it from a different angle.
Mhm.
Yes, it's true that we do need to control our emotions. Extremely true. I like to tell people don't let your highs get too high and don't let your lows get too low. That way you kind of even kill. You can just kind of coast through things. But I'd like to say, just for me, the short answer when I take all of the technique and the know how away from it, I feel that absolutely it is normal for someone to feel anxious when a deal falls apart because of money. So, why are they feeling anxious? Because for them, that commission check was what was going to pay their bills, right? Then we're talking about the mortgage payment, tuition, car note, vacations, retirement, anything that they were using or had plans to use the money for. And so when that deal falls apart, it really feels like they've lost, right? Their brain immediately just kind of converts to the commission. This converts that commission into a necessity of life or for life. So when a person doesn't have enough deals in the pipeline, right, or they don't quite have the emotional piece of it intact at the time that that deal falls apart, it's absolutely normal.
Mhm.
It
Well,
is, and we want to look at the anxiety
each
as
person, yeah,
not being a weakness,
yeah,
right? It's just because what's the anxiety is coming from is built up because of the uncertainty.
right.
And so that anxiety is because it's a result of uncertainty. We don't really want to look at it as being a weakness.
It's definitely not a
So
weakness.
yeah, a lot of,
It's definitely not a weakness, but I can
mhm,
tell you that each person deals with emotions differently. And some people have a range of emotions, some people
yeah,
have no emotion, and some people have a lot of emotion.
yeah.
So while it's normal,
Mhm.
you end up starting to normalize not having that emotion, or you start normalizing not feeling that way because
Yeah,
every deal is uncertain. There is no deal that is guaranteed, even cash. If you get bumped
correct.
back of the
You
car
can
and
say
bumped,
that
you can
again.
get bumped in the back of the car on the way to closing and get knocked off and die or go to heaven when you was on your way. You could have a clean cash deal, no inspection, 10-day closing, and something happens. I mean, I know this. If you've done real estate for 20 or more
Yeah.
years, you can
Hmm.
bet your bottom dollar you've been through it all, you've seen it all. There has been nothing that's guaranteed. You could be banking on that $50,000 best deal of your life, number
Yes.
one highest closing, you about to kill it. And then next thing you know, the buyer goes, you know what? I want to walk away, or I'm not interested in selling anymore, or I'm not doing it. And you're sitting there like, I know this heifer didn't.
I know. So that brings me to another question, Queen. How do you mentally detach from commission dependency?
Well, for me, number
Because
one,
that's go ahead.
number one, I am never depending on money. I have never depended on
Gotcha.
money. And the reason why is because I set myself up with assets. So I was always in a
Right,
position
right.
that no matter what was going on, my commission was my sort of like at one point before I even had all of my assets. So let me just go backwards.
Hmm.
Before I had assets, when I first started real estate, I had a job and I saved up a year's worth of money. I knew when I began real estate
Hmm.
that I had that little nest egg, but I didn't want to touch it unless I had to. So I had no other plan B. If I didn't do well in real estate, I was going to eat my nest egg, and I wasn't trying to do that because I'm a real big saver. As I went
Hmm.
into real estate, I always chose that career not because I wanted to sell it, but I wanted to own it. So I set myself up that
Right.
if I'm making all this money, which I was, I need to be buying property. Every year of real estate, I bought a property. I was in it for about 20 years and I had 20 properties. So I've literally dedicated money for vacation, money for savings, putting away in my 401k, as well as buying a profit. I mean, buying a property. As
Hmm.
I grew and I grew in real estate into the 15th or 20th year, I had a great portfolio of homes. The money I was
Hmm.
generating from the real estate was equal to what I was actually making at some point. So that's when I decided when I was going to retire that I had to replace my income and start looking at that and being more intentional about the assets and be able to remove myself from the income because the income's sweet too. So combined, I was doing so
Yes.
well that I never really worried about the actual deal. And I have to say this, and it's not tooting my own horn. I could count on my hand,
Mhm.
I don't know, about maybe 4 times that a deal didn't go through. I think every deal
Yes.
went through. I was pretty much on it. If it didn't go through, it did have something to do with a tragedy. Or one time it
Mhm.
could have been an issue because they wanted to use their own lender and not mine, or something real quirky. But I can count on my hands. I don't have too many negative stories about my 27-year real estate career because it was always, thank God, the traction of people that I had. They were serious. They knew what they were
Mhm.
doing. They wanted it. We never had to cajole or beg. I had all my closings transactions ending in 30 days or less. I had a bad lender. He was always doing his thing. So I didn't have these drawn out, drag out situations. They were always pretty much on point. And it's because I vetted that
Mhm.
client so well in the beginning
That's it right there.
that I knew that they were serious about it. And
Yes.
if there was something that was going on throughout the transaction, I took care of it. So I never, ever let the buyer know what was going on. I took
That's it.
everything behind the scenes, and all I did was present them with the positive. My energy sells, what I was doing sells them. They trusted me, and therefore
Mhm.
transactions actually closed properly. Folks were shocked because they would see me posting every minute. They're like, "You really sell all these houses?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I really? What am I
Absolutely.
doing? Faking the picture with me and this whole time? What do you think? AI wasn't even out then. Come on now, stop it." So I was really doing it.
Listen.
I was really doing it like at a high level. I'm talking 10 transactions a
Mhm.
month. That's a lot of sales for one person. And that's what I did.
And here's the thing, too, you had a process because what I found when you come and you serve with a level of professionalism and you have a process, the probability of your deals falling through the cracks
Yes.
is going to be very
You
slim,
have to
very
control the
slim.
process because what
You
happened,
have
the
to.
clients who came to me who knew more than me, I literally had to turn them down. Everybody's not my client. But if you understood my
Yeah.
process where I basically met you 3 times and how that 3 times happened, well, before you even meet me, we are qualified. There's no meet
Mhm.
me, go look and get qualified.
That's it.
You have to have all these things in a row before you even talk to me. As a matter of fact, my reputation on
That's
the
it.
streets were don't call her if you're not serious. I had people literally saying, don't call her if you're not serious because you're going to blink your eye and you're going to be in the house. And that's the
That's
truth.
it. That's it. So, so getting back on topic, is it safe to say that a person can kind of control being attached to that commission dependency by just simply not counting the money until it clears the
Yeah,
bank?
you should. No one should.
Because you and I both
Yeah,
know,
you can't count a chicken until
yeah,
it
you and I
hatches.
both
You can't
exactly.
try
The
to
money is not
not
yours
there.
until it hits your
And
account.
that is true.
And oftentimes, yeah, oftentimes I'm finding rookie agents tend to count the money too soon. They're already spending it. They've already allocated how much is going to go where and when and how, and it hasn't even hit the account yet.
Well, budgeting is
So
important.
stay in the safety zone.
Yeah, budgeting is
But
important. Yeah,
exactly. Let's talk about
if
that.
you don't have a good budget and you don't have a good nest egg and you don't have alternative income, it does change how you feel and how you think. If you're dependent on money and that
Mhm.
deal goes bad and you knew you had, baby formula to buy, it's a whole different vibe. That's how some people get in compromising
Right.
situations. I know an agent that lost her license because she was really desperate and dependent on this money. The money didn't come and she had to do some things that may have changed her judgment. And so it's very important. We are in commission sales.
Mm.
If you don't know that, then you shouldn't be in commission sales. If you make a $30,000 check, you don't have 30,000. You got to get 10% or 15 or 20% to the government. You need to put some aside for savings and you need to make sure you have your bills for a certain period of time. 30,000 doesn't mean you're going on vacation
Mhm.
with your friends and pay off your car. And I've seen people do that. When I get my check and pay off, whoa, don't pay off your car. It's okay. You're always gonna have a car payment for the rest of your life. You're gonna
Mm.
drive, right?
That's it.
Don't pay off your car. Put
Yep.
that money in and keep banking and put it away. Because what I find too, when I was mentoring a few agents, I was talking to them and they would tell me they had no money. I was like, you have no money? You made how much last
Mhm.
year? 150,000. What'd you do with it? Oh, well, I bought this. Me and my husband went on a cruise. Me and my girlfriends went on field trips.
Wow.
We did all this stuff. And I said, but let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you want to pay yourself? So now you're sitting in the place asking me to mentor you because you have no money. You bought no properties. You sell the best commodity and the highest
Mhm.
asset that anyone could own. And you don't have any. I spoke with an agent last week, and she's in Chicago. I don't want to out her. And she has been doing real estate for well over
Mhm.
20 years, and she doesn't own anything. And I was shocked. I was very surprised. I'm not here to judge you,
Mm.
but when times are hard, you have nothing to pull from, no equity line. You have no, COVID hit people hard. No one could go anywhere. People couldn't do anything.
It
And they
definitely
looked at
did.
assets. So assets are where I speak from because I know that it does work. You do want to have that. You don't have to have a whole bunch, but if you did, just think about it. If you got rents of $2,000 a month times 10, that's $20,000 a month. If that's the case, that's a good piece of change for now
Mhm.
until the market changes.
Mhm.
But you give yourself a raise every year because rents go up if you want to keep it. I'm not a flipper.
That's it.
I know people who flip, but once you flip, where's that money going? A, you got to pay capital gains on it, and B, you got to find a place to put it. If not, you're just really paying the government. So I don't want to flip anything. I want to
That's
keep
it.
everything and then give it to the kids. And what about reverse?
Even if they don't deserve it.
Yeah, well, even if they don't, I mean, rather than give it to the government, might as well give it to them bad little. And they're not.
Right, right, right. I
They're my
got you. I
offspring.
got you.
But so
You
people
know,
getting nervous,
uh,
it makes sense to get nervous
yeah,
when you don't know, when you don't have a plan. If you don't
yeah,
plan, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, right? That's the whole saying.
yeah.
So you got to have a plan.
I think also, yeah, I think also if a person can learn to separate their self-worth from their production, because they're not one and the same, right? Too often agents tie in their closings. They tie that into as to whether or not they're successful or not. And those are two different things. Because a deal falls through doesn't mean that you're a failure. So switching that that mindset, just that shift in the thinking as it pertains to losing a deal, right? I like to tell people that it's best to just stay, again, even kill, because you have to be ready for the next business opportunity that comes your way. If you're still over here mulling over the fact that you lost a deal,
Mhm.
mentally, you're not ready for the next opportunity that comes your
But
way.
it's
And
hard.
you've got to always be
It's
ready.
hard though.
It
It's
is,
like telling somebody,
it
I know your
is,
mama died, get over it and get back to the game. It's hard. When you lose that deal, a lot of things happen. You start to do the where, what, when, why,
mm-hmm,
when, who, what, the blame. It starts to feel the guilt. Like what could I have done better? Is it my fault? Even though it's not 95% of the time, it
right,
could be
right.
somebody else's. Because really you don't create the negatives in the and then again, maybe you could. Maybe they got pissed off at you. Maybe they want to go to
Mhm.
another agent because you were bad. I don't know. But for the most part, it could be the lender. It could be the home inspection. It could be they got cold feet. It could be a lot of different reasons. So you can't solve all of those issues at times. If it's going to go bad, it's going to go
Not
bad.
at all.
But there are times you can get it
Mhm.
back together. I just had a lady who was worried about a deal and the transaction fee was in play. And I told my agent, I says, get rid of the transaction fee. Because guess what? Either you're gonna have $5,000
Mhm.
or zero. So what's
That's it.
$5,900? Might as well get rid of the transaction fee, take the deal, deal with it, and you paid out your pocket. If that's what it
Mhm.
takes.
I like to say, yeah, and if you think about it, a lost deal is just an event. It's not your identity.
Yeah.
The path that you set when you were speaking earlier about taking on the mindset of an investor,
Hmm.
right? When you start taking on the mindset of an investor and you're keeping the main thing, which is next, I'm going to get through this deal next. Have more than one deal in your pipeline. Number one, that's number two.
Yeah.
When you have multiple deals in your pipeline, there's not enough room and time for you to just kind of spend time over here in a corner trying to figure out, oh, woe is me, and what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
You just keep the main thing, you keep it moving and you move right on to the next deal. You've just gotta make sure that those things are in order. And I truly appreciate how you did kind of spell out or share that detailed process and how you looked at how you looked at things as you were managing your real estate deal, your real estate business.
But
It wasn't
April,
just a job.
you
Go
could,
ahead.
you could actually have multiple deals in the pipeline. They can all fall apart. I had know a lady who called me one time, and I had to do some prayer for her. I said, "Well, stop. If they're all falling apart,
Yeah,
that's your energy. Something's going on with you now. Every deal doesn't fall
yeah.
apart. So if you got three going and they're all starting to fall apart, I need you to woosah. I'm coaching her at this point. We need to find out why they're going
Hmm.
to fall
Hmm.
apart. Do we need someone else to step in and bring them back? Because if it's all the lender, you
Hmm.
chose the wrong lender. If it's all because they have cold feet, there's something that's going on with you that's giving them cold feet. If it's something to do with the home inspections, we got to figure out how to keep them protected throughout the home inspection so they understand why this is happening and what to do and what they don't need and why they maybe you're putting everything on inspection report. Maybe you need to coach them on. There's
Hmm.
all kinds of ways. So when you have someone like that, and I have a girl like that, and she's not even new. We were coaching him. She was in the game for a minute, and things are just falling apart. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh. So sometimes if one thing happens, it's like if good things happen, good things beget good things, right? If you have bad things and you focus on it,
Right.
that negative energy, and I believe in energy, it starts spreading across
Hmm.
everything. So you have to pull it back and you have to really kind of examine why these things are happening and try to find a way to
Hmm.
get back on the horse, like you say, stay in the game. Because if you're playing ball
Yeah.
and you miss the basket, you don't have time to think about, oh my God, I missed the basket. You need to get back in that game
No, you
and try to
don't.
score again before you end up on the bench.
But you know what? You know what this sparked me? This is what I thought about. I had completely forgot about this. I remember one year. It was shortly after I had my divorce.
Mhm.
I remember one year. All of my deals, I would say from January through May, fell apart. Not and I had multiple
Multiple
deals
deals.
in the pipeline and they all fell apart, but I still stayed in the game. And what I had multiple deals in the pipeline, but I had multiple prospects in the pipeline as well. So I never stopped churning. And at the end of the year, when I counted up my production, I actually had gotten an award from my then brokerage firm. I had closed 22 deals that year. And when I counted up my production, I realized that all of the production I did was in a matter of 6 months because my deals, January through May, all fell out for one reason or another.
Mm.
Sometimes people change their mind. They're relocating to your area. They change their mind. There's been a shift in job. Sometimes there's a divorce. Now we're not moving forward. Every now and then you'll get a client that just seriously suffers from buyer's remorse. I mean, it was just one thing after the next. And when I saw at the end of the year, because I always do a reflection of my production, what I've done, so that I can improve and enhance for the upcoming year. That's how I set my goals. I don't compete against other people, I compete against myself. But again, and I say that as encouragement to individuals. If I can close 22 deals in 6 months, staying in the game, even though January through May, every deal fell apart. And I had to have those conversations. I knew I was doing the right things. I did not personalize those things which were outside of my control. I continued to do what I knew to do as a real estate professional, and it paid off for me in the end. So you're absolutely right, Queen. You can have multiple deals in
Yes.
the pipeline and things still not go
It's
well.
true. As
Yeah.
long as you keep, like
Mhm.
you said, you got to stay in the game. Well, if you're focused on the ones that go bad, it takes away from the energy of the ones that could go right. So you have to take that energy and shift it over
That's
to the
it.
other ones. And then if they come back and revive themselves, fine. But it will be very hard in your mind. The way our minds work, if you're going through something, you have to compartmentalize. And most times we don't compartmentalize because we're
Yes.
so focused on the things that going on over here. But it's like anything. I can't be everything to everyone. I have been that. I've been super one. I've mom, this, that. I've
Yeah.
tried. It doesn't really work well. So you kind of have to kind of make sure you focus on one thing and do it best. There's a whole thing about the
Mhm.
one thing. I don't know if you've heard about it, but the one thing,
Oh
if you look
yeah.
at your
Isn't
one
there a book
thing,
out there? The one
it's
thing?
yeah, it's a Keller Williams thing. The
Hmm.
one thing is so important. And when I used to tell people, they used to say that you can't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, I don't agree with that. All of my eggs were in one
Hmm.
basket. When I applied to college, all of my eggs into one college. I didn't apply for second, third because I don't believe in plan B. And just me, I'm an anomaly. Plan B means you're going to be on plan B. I don't
Hmm.
want to be on plan B. I want to be on plan A. So that's a
Yeah.
fun on words, plan B. So I don't want the abortion plan B. I want the I want the baby to be born in plan A.
Yes. Yes.
So I just feel like if you are thinking that way, it could go that way, but I'm not your average person. And I'm very clear on that. I understand it took me years to know who I was, and I am not the average person. So for me, I'm
Hmm.
going to work hard and I'm going to work until they say you die trying, right? So I'm going to do it until I
Yeah.
die trying. I'm never going to give up and I'm going to make it happen. If I put my name on it, it's going to happen. But that's just me. And I've always been that way. It's a spirit,
That's
it's
it.
a gift I've been given.
Hey, and that's me as well. For me, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in a level of excellence.
Mhm.
If you're shooting for excellence and you fall short, you're still going to be on top because you were shooting for
That's
beyond
correct. That's
excellence.
correct.
So we're getting ready to we're getting to the end of
Yeah.
our 30-minute segment. So I wanted to just kind of leave you all with this closing thought, and that is that the goal isn't to stop caring when deals fall apart. The goal is to stop letting one deal determine your emotional state. Great brokers learn to stay steady through both wins.
That's a good.
You can do it.
I like that. Well, I want
Listen.
to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, to hit that notification bell. If you ever want to know when we're going live, we try to meet every Tuesday at 7 o'clock for those who don't know. And of course, we love for you to be a part of the conversation. So if there's anything you'd like to share, if you'd like to make a comment, if you want to come on our show, if you have a topic that you like, we get tons of questions all the time. And some of them are, regular questions that everybody thinks of, and some are more thought provoking about things that are a little bit spicy. We do like spicy, but of course, we're not here to be a
Yes.
gossip channel. We just want to share our thoughts. We're just two chicks who did real estate for a couple of decades, and we just having fun. This is what we do. We're not the bloggers and the big, podcasters. We're just a little friendly group of girls,
Mhm.
and we love having you guys. And I want to take you out with our theme song. Here we go.
Oh,
Q&A with Steve and April.
Yes, good night. This is Q&A. Good night, guys.
good night.